Hey coders, welcome back to the channel. In the last couple of days, you've seen OpenAI coming up with their event and announcing their latest model, that is GPT 4o, and then Google coming up with its own event and talking about in detail about the great improvements they made to their Gemini model. So that tells you the AI hype is real and it is everywhere around us. And Spring, the framework that literally never sleeps, wasn't the one to miss out. They've quickly come up with a solution of their own, and it's a very sweet solution. Trust me on that. And it's for the Spring developers to sprinkle some AI magic into their applications, and not so surprisingly, they've called it Spring AI. This awesome library lets your Spring applications interact with a lot of AI models. Think of it as a bridge between your code and the power of AI. And guess what? You don't have to become an AI expert yourself because Spring takes care of the communication part for you, and you just have to focus on the part that you do best, and that is continue building those amazing applications and leveraging the power of AI at the same time. Now, Spring AI has some pretty cool features up its sleeve. Like, it works with all the big guys like Amazon, OpenAI, Microsoft, and Google with their models like ChatGPT and Gemini in particular. And then it has support for the auto configuration and starters for these AI models that makes configuring these AI models and working with those fancy vector stores a breeze. And it lets you map the outputs that we get from these AI models directly straight into your plain old Java objects. Although in this video, we'll be focusing on using Spring AI with OpenAI, the creators of ChatGPT, but even if you want to later on try it with a different provider like from Google or Amazon, you would have to make minimal changes in your code thanks to the ease Spring AI brings to the table. So without further ado, let's get started. So here we are on the OpenAI platform web page, because that's the first thing we need to do is generate our or create our API key for us to be able to integrate the AI functionality from OpenAI into our Spring application. And as you can see, I'm on the billings page because this particular usage is not free. Yes, you heard me right, because to test off things, you need to have at least some credit in your account in the platform.openai.com website. And I've just got $5 for me because that is the minimum that you can have here. But that should be sufficient for any testing that you want to do with your Spring AI and your OpenAI integration projects. And you should be good to go. As you can see, it says your credit balance will be consumed as you use the API. So once you have enough credit in your account to use this thing, now next you would go on to the section that is API keys, as you can see on my screen. So I click on it, and I already have an API key that I created a few days back for this project. But if you're starting off new, you can just click on create new secret key and then have it saved somewhere so that you can save it to an environment variable later on for you to use it in a Spring AI project. All right, so that is what you need to do first. Go to platform.openai.com and then have some credit in your account as minimum as $5, which isn't much to be honest, because it lets you play around with a lot of cool stuff out there. And then you can go to the API keys section, create a new secret key, right? So then what we need to do is go to the start.spring.io website, which is the Spring Initializer. As always, we use it to create new Spring Boot projects, and we'll just select Java here, and then Maven is good. And let's just select 3.2.5 of Spring Boot. That is the stable version, and then give it a group ID. Like, I'll just call it com dot, for example, Walid for now. And artifact, let's just call it Spring AI Pro, that is Spring AI project. Description is good. Demo project for Spring Boot AI with OpenAI. Let's just put this description, and package name again, let's put it to com.walid.training. But you can just, of course, go on and put in your own relevant package names. Packaging jar is good, and let's select for this one as Java 21, and then head over to the dependencies section. And this time we need the web, of course, because we are again creating a Spring MVC web application, a RESTful application. So let's select that. And in addition to that, this time what's different is I'll just say AI. And as you can see, we have a lot of AI options here, like Azure AI Search, Mistral AI, Stability AI. Then there is Amazon, there is OpenAI, there is Gemini support, there is vector databases support. But for this example, as I said, we'll be using OpenAI, and that is the dependency we have been given. It says Spring AI support for Chat GPT, the AI language model. Let's click on this. And for this example, these two should be sufficient. And once you're through, let's click generate. So once you click generate, it would be obviously the project would be created a Maven project with your selected dependencies. It would be downloaded on your system, and then you need to import it in your IDE. And I already have that done. So I'll just head over to IntelliJ, and this is the project. I've already opened it, Spring AI Pro, right? So now you go to the source, main, and Java, and then we'll directly just run this. Let's see what it gets us, because we have two dependencies included in this project, one for Spring Boot Starter Web and the other one for OpenAI, which sets us up with Spring AI to use OpenAI. But we've got an error, which is not surprising to me, because if you can see, it says OpenAI API key must be set. Because you know the thing about auto configuration with Spring Boot projects, when it sees that in this particular example, we have the Open AI Spring AI Maven dependency in a class path. So it checks for we should already have an Open AI key that we must have set in our app.properties file. And that's the first step I'm going to do here. I'll head over to application.properties, and we'll just put in the property that is spring.ai.openai uh, dot API, or I'll just say, yeah, okay, yeah. And I've already set it in my environment variable, so I'll just use it from that, and I've called it in caps open AI underscore API underscore key. Right, so this is coming in from the environment variable, because we should never paste it directly here. Although for testing, if you've just generated it from this page on the platform OpenAI, you can just copy and paste it. But as I said, it's never recommended to paste it directly, never hard coded. We can just put it in an environment variable and then use it as I have done here. And the next step we're going to do is quickly create our REST controller, where we'll be using Spring AI and integrating with OpenAI to create a good sample request mapping. So I'll just call this as, let's call it OpenAI chat controller, because that's what it is. And on top of it, again, the same at-rest controller from Spring Boot. And now, this is where the specifics come in regarding Spring AI and OpenAI. What I'll do is I'll just declare a private final variable quickly, and this is chat client. This is the one I'm using. And as you can see, it's from org.springframework.ai.chat. So this is coming in directly from the Spring AI project. That is chat client, which we'll be using to interact with the Open AI framework. So I'll just hit enter, it would be imported, and let's just call it chat client. And let's put this as auto wired in the constructor through constructor dependency injection. So I'll just say open AI chat controller. This would be my constructor. So I'll just say chat client, and then we'll just do the mapping this dot chat client to chat client, and that's it. And next, let's create a method. I'll just say string get response back. Let's put it appropriately, because that's what it would do. And let's put in a string message which would be our prompt to OpenAI, like you do with ChatGPT or Gemini these days. You put in a prompt, and then the model, the LLM, responds with an appropriate response, right? So I'll just put it to a message, and we'll take it as a path variable. Okay. And then let's have the get mapping, and we'll set it to slash chat slash message, which would be the template URI variable, which would map to this particular parameter in my method, that is get response back. And this is where I say just return chat client. There is a method called call, which takes the message, that is the prompt in our case, and responds us with a string response. I'll just pass in the message here. And guess what? That is all you need to do. That is the ease Spring AI brings to the table, right? What Spring has always been famous for, that is effortlessness, ease of use, that is relevant in this Spring AI project as well. With just one line, you're able to hit the Open AI framework, pass in a prompt, and it responds you with an appropriate response, which I can get it as a string. And that's all we need to do. And this time in application.properties, we have set the OpenAI API key as well. So we should not get this error. So let's rerun the project. So should be good to go this time around. Because as I said, we've already set the Open API key, and yes, it says that it has started on port 8080 and then started Spring AI demo application in 4.896 seconds. So now the way to check it out is, this is our git mapping. We need to hit localhost 8080 slash chat slash the prompt that we need to give to OpenAI this time. And let's see what does it come back with. So let's go back to the browser and hit the URL. I'll say localhost colon 8080 slash chat and slash the message. And let's say we'll pass in the message as tell me a joke about Python, programming language that is. And wow, it says, why did the Python programmer break up with her girlfriend? Because they couldn't handle her constant Java updates. Really cool message there from OpenAI, because as you know, Java has quite an aggressive model of updates these days. It comes, a new version comes up after every 6 months. So this is a really cool joke that it came up with. And let's say, let me tell me a joke about, for example, C plus plus. Says, why was the C plus plus programmer always so calm? Because they had a great sense of encapsulation. Because encapsulation, again, it's a main feature of C plus plus and any object oriented programming languages. That's why a C plus plus programmer is always so calm. So that is with just a few lines of code, right? And literally just a few lines of code, you're able to set up your project with Spring AI to talk to Open AI functionality and incorporate that in your application. So there you have it. We've just explored how to use Spring AI to integrate AI specific functionality from these AI models into your applications to create quite sophisticated applications. And by using these powerful frameworks, Spring AI from Spring and then OpenAI or Gemini, for example, from Google, you can already create applications which cross the boundaries of which was once thought as impossible, right? So it's just the quick start tutorial that we did. It's just that first step that you took, but at least you have an idea of how to integrate AI into your Spring applications now. As the popular saying goes, a journey of 1,000 miles always starts with that very first step that you take. So but now it's up to you to experiment, try a lot of other resources online, go to their official website, that is Spring AI Project. There's a good documentation out there, and more help and more tutorials would be coming on in the next few weeks and the next few months. But as I said, this is just the first step, and you saw again with how much of ease and effortlessness you were able to integrate AI functionality into your Spring applications. So as always, thank you for watching. I'll see you soon.